And if you would have asked me this question probably like at the beginning of the year, I would have said I had the office, but that's not what I want anymore.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Designer Future podcast. I've got Sebastian on today. Sebastian, please go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Olley, for inviting me to the podcast. So my name's Sebsanchezr. I run a digital marketing agency out here in London. And what we do is we help, entrepreneurs and businesses. At the moment, we're in like the luxury side of things. That's what we've sort of fallen under. So we help just generate more revenue, create more brand awareness using paid ads. So we're trying to step away from the whole social media management and like branding type of thing, because we're trying to be revenue driven, but we still get a lot of people asking for it. So we still offer it services, but our main focus is paid ads just because it's more revenue type, Sam. So yeah, that's what I do. That's what we do. And that's what we're doing at the moment. Yeah.
Wicked. So before we get into all like the technical stuff, how have you sort of found your feet in where you're at now? Like where was you 5-10 years ago? How have you sort of progressed into running your own business and working from home?
So I fell into marketing, really, if you want to say that, because like I actually graduated in marketing, but I did only done it because like my cousin done marketing. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm just going uni, so I'd keep my parents happy, being like immigrants and stuff. So then graduated in marketing, and then left uni, didn't know what to do, went into banking. So I was like a personal banker for a bit, for about 2 years actually, yeah. And then sort of contract was finished, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, because the only reason people go into banks is to complain, not for anything else. Left, and then didn't have a job for about a good 5 months, and then luckily one of my closest friends, he worked as a marketing manager in a publishing business, and he was like, I'm leaving, and they're looking for a marketing executive role. So I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't know nothing. Like I didn't remember anything from uni. I didn't like no marketing experience, like nothing. Like if you would have said to me like about like would you know about marketing, I probably would have said the 4 Ps, which is probably that's like literally it. No digital experience, nothing. So I was like, I took the job, and he was like, listen, like the worst thing that can happen is you get fired after your probation period in 6 months, and that's pretty much it. I stayed there for 2 years, got promoted to marketing manager. So like it was pretty good 2.5 years. But then the reason why I fell into owning my marketing agency was because they were pretty old school, so they were pretty traditional. So they'd done like magazine and print and publishing, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always suggest to them like let's try and move towards digital marketing, because there's a lot of money being made in like paid ads and stuff. And they wasn't really having it. The CEO was quite traditional. So then I started looking at like it was like the perfect time when Ty Lopez was like the main guru on social media. So then an ad he must have done what I do now, and like
knowledge.
Lambos, he must run an ad about his SMMA course, and then I bought it. Bought the course. This was like, so my contract was just about to finish in May, I remember clearly, and I bought it in December, because I was like, let me try and like start it, and then that. But then, so I'd done the course for like 2 months, and I used to like, I remember I literally used to work 9 to, so wake up 7, go to work for 9, work till 5, and I asked the manager if I could stay like till really late at the office. I would just be like, because I'm just like, helping like a few like things, and he was like, yeah, cool, that's fine. So I'd stay working so I'd have like a 30-minute break from 5:30. So from 5:30 up until like 11 p.m. just every day for like 2 months, just like learning, trying to set it up and everything. So then it came to the point where like my contract finished, and I was like, should I apply for another job? Should I not? Like, what should I do? I had no income at that point, obviously. And then luckily, one of my closest friends was starting a modeling agency at the time. So he was like, listen, like, we'll hire you. And that's how like fortunately I got my first client. It was only for like £675 a month. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it was like, like my first client, this and that. So
buzzing.
Like that's, and then from then on, like I had them for about a year later, obviously up the price a little bit. like it took me from then for about 5-6 months to find my next client. Like it was like, people think that, yeah, like if you have the knowledge for digital marketing, the clients will just come, whereas completely it's not true at all. So yeah, that's sort of like my story of how I fell into like owning a digital marketing agency. And now, yeah, the reason why I started the digital marketing agency was because I saw the fact that, you know, what I was doing, I was probably on like 28K at that point, like a year. And then I was like, I could be doing this, what I'm doing now for this company, like at a really like scalable level, but and just like for different companies as opposed to just this one type of thing. And I feel like I could outsource and I could charge like 1 to like, was what Ty Lopez was saying, like you could charge up to like 10K per client. So I was like, yeah, like I want to do that. I want to come out of the 9 to 5 type of thing. And then yeah, so that's how I got into it.
Wicked, man.
Yeah.
So what's sort of motivating you now? Now you've sort of got out of the rat race, if you like, out of the 9 to 5. What's sort of motivating you to continuously be progressing the agency now?
My son. That's literally it. Like I've got a 9-month old who, like, it's crazy how, for the people out there who like the people who have kids out there probably understand this. I'm not sure you don't have any kids yet, do you, Olley?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Lead Pages. Lead Pages is the application I use to create all of my landing pages and websites for myself and all of my clients. At the moment, you can get a free 14-day trial by clicking the first link in the description.
Yeah, it's just my son, and then obviously, like his future, and I want to be able to give him the stuff that I never got, like growing up, and like not to be ungrateful towards like my parents. And like on the contrary, like I'm very grateful because obviously they were like we migrated here when I was a year old, so obviously like hardworking people. But obviously, yeah, it's just like, you know, just the little things in life that they couldn't really offer me, like that the abundance type of thing. Yeah, like I want to be able to. So yeah, it's really that. And then like, yeah, just motivating me, and like what motivates me as well is just seeing the progress of like my agency, where like where I could see myself where I was like a year ago, well, like a year and a half ago, where it was like the one client, like not really knowing what I was doing type of thing. So like I had all the knowledge but no experience, and then yeah, seeing like how much of a progress now, and then understanding like if I've progressed this much in about a year and a half, like how much I can progress in about, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 years type of thing. So
yeah. And sorry, just while we're on that, because that's a really interesting topic for me, is how has like being able to work for yourself impacted like your family life, like having a young kid around you, and you know, being able to sort of decide when you work, having, you know, because you've definitely got a relationship with your son that a lot of people probably like hope for and wish for at this stage of their life. So how has that affected you?
It's amazing. And like I probably sound very like ecstatic when I speak about like relationship with my son and stuff, but it's like it's nice because yeah, like I wanted to be a young father, so I'm only 26 now. And like I always like even from like 2 years ago, I was like to my girlfriend, I'd be like, yeah, like I wanna, like, let's have a son now type of thing. But at that time I was still working like 9 to 5, so it was like, I don't know, like it was like I wouldn't have seen him that much. And it's the same thing, people who work 9 to 5, it's like for parent, like especially dads, because like mothers get that maternity leave, so they get to be with the baby for the first like 6 months, depending on how, like what time they take it and stuff. Whereas dads, it's like even now, for example, if I have meetings throughout the day, or if I'm out the whole day and I'll come back home and it's like 6, 7 o'clock, it's like I feel like I've like not seen him for so long type of thing. But I've been fortunate enough to, from when he was born, just be there throughout. And then I mean, especially with the whole like pandemic that happened with like corona like virus and stuff, like we was meant to be like at home. So even if I like meetings that I would have had that would have been, you know, face to face, it was all like virtual and online and stuff. So he was born in December, so it was literally like the whole year is just been like me spending time with him, with my girlfriend, and us three just sort of like there together. So it's pretty cool to have that bond with him, like just to be able to be with him literally 24/7, as opposed to, you know, fathers who don't really get to spend that much time with him, basically. And just, yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Wicked, man. Wicked. That's really cool. Cool. Next question I'd love to ask is, imagine I come into your house tonight, right? I grab your iPhone and I delete three of the apps from your phone. What would the 3 apps be that you would really struggle with moving forward?
What, not having?
Yeah, so if I was to come and delete 3 of your apps, what would the
Yeah,
3 apps be that you'd really struggle if I was to come and delete them from your phone?
the ones that I make money off. So it'll be probably Instagram, Notion, which is where I have like literally my whole life and business on. Have you used Notion before? Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's something that becomes very, very addictive, and the reason why is because their business strategy is pretty smart. So they only cost £4 a month, but it's free. So the way Notion works is, I know I'm getting a bit off topic, but
No, I
like
love it. I love it. I love it. Go for it.
the way the way Notion works is they give you 100 pages for free. So what that means is so you create like certain tabs about everything, but once you get to the point where you've reached 100 pages, you have so much on there that you sort of like just have to pay for like their monthly, which is what happened to me. So I was like, yeah, like this is pretty cool. Like I have 100 pages, and then I got the little message that was like, you can't create any more pages because now you have to pay for like the monthly. So you just have to like, yeah. So now I've got everything on there. So yeah, Instagram, Notion. I don't know. Let me have a look and see what I use the most. I'll probably say Spotify. I can't live without music. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's the first time someone's mentioned anything like music related. So I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm listening to music 24/7. So like, yeah. So I'll probably say Spotify.
Nice. So on that sort of topic, when you're doing like, this is a question I get all the time, is like when you're doing like work blocks, for example, what does your environment look like? So you listening to music, or are you how does that sort of look for you?
Yeah, so I do focus sprints. Do you know what focus sprints are? Yeah, yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, they're 90-minute, sort of like literally what it is. So like focus sprints, and then you take a 20-minute break. So I usually have like 3 or 4 of them a day, and then yeah, like that's it. Like I don't like to like proper like hammer down on work because your brain gets completely fried. I like to change spots from where I work. So this is like one of my main spots where I work. But then I also work in my living room because it's like really bright during the day because like we have like the whole back open, and then we have like sunlight coming in through the top where they have like a small type of like window at the top. So it's pretty cool to work there during the day, but then I come here at night. But yeah, like it depends on what type of work I'm doing. So if I'm doing copywriting, I listen to either lo-fi or, so going back to the music, which is why I said Spotify.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so still listening to lo-fi, but you use Spotify.
Yeah. So like lo-fi or like house music, but it's more of like the like deep house basically, and that's really like it gets my brain sort of going. If it's just like any type of work, so like creative, anything, if it's anything to do with words, I'll listen to those. If it's anything to be like anything else, so like creative or just speaking or clients, then I'll listen to like hip-hop type of stuff. But yeah, like I usually have just like everything I need. So the one thing that I have like a separate keyboard and mouse, because I hate the keyboard for like MacBook as well. So yeah, that's pretty much just like my drink, which is what I usually have. And yeah, I'm not really one to like, because I know a lot of people in like agency owners who have like, they light up like the essences and like they go really like spiritual and everything.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah, like as long as I have my music, and then like it's good to go, to be honest. Yeah.
Wicked, man. Wicked, cool. Let's imagine that someone has went onto YouTube and they've typed in how to start making money online, right? What would be one resource, whether it's like the training you went through or a book, not necessarily on like starting an SMMA business, but maybe mindset, anything like that? What would be the resource you'd point someone in the direction of to get started?
I'd probably say, so when I started like getting into sort of making money online, I was reading a lot, which is what I'm going to. But I started listening to a lot of like audio books, and I feel like that really helped a lot. Because sorry, bro, let me just turn off my WhatsApp so it stops ringing. One sec. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, sorry. So so when I started, I felt like I didn't really have the most like entrepreneurial mindset type of thing. So I knew like sort of like, yeah, like this is the stuff that you sort of need to do to like work hard and work at home and that type of thing. But I felt like reading books was one of the most important things, because you start like seeing other perspectives, and there's a lot of people that really hammer down more on like everything that they know, and like they don't want to learn anything else when it comes to like other people's perspectives and people that have done this before and that type of stuff. So I'd probably say resources for anyone who wants to make money online is obviously courses, which is like pretty self-explanatory, but it's also reading books. So like I'm not gonna lie to you, I've stopped reading books like in the past like 4 months because it's just been a bit hectic. So I feel like I haven't had time, but obviously that's not an excuse. But yeah, I'd say just books, like just so the books that I started off were probably were like the main ones that everyone sort of reads, which is like Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've read the Grant Cardone one, which is called
10x, I think.
no, that's the other one. He's got another one. Selling something about selling. It's like
Sell or be sold.
yeah, that one. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that one was pretty cool. That one. So those are like the two books that sort of like I went into straight away, sort of that sort of changed my mindset and everything. So yeah, I'd say probably just reading, really just find books that resonate with what it is you want to do and how you want to make money online, and then yeah.
Wicked, yeah, because ultimately as well, there's so many different avenues, and I think reading books allows you to see other people's perspective as well. For sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you use ClickFunnels?
I sort of do. Like I've used it, but like mainly my like the person who runs my fund, like who helps me with funnels, does it for me. But like yeah, I know how. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. So you do actually use it within the business, but it's not something that you're okay. Cool.
Yeah, I don't spend my day on ClickFunnels, like know the ins and outs of it, but yeah, like I know how to use it and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Wicked. Next one is, do you use cold email at all?
No, I'm actually like so I like to re-strategize my business every like couple months. And like the one thing I do as well, which is like a handy tip for anyone who's looking to start their own like social media marketing, is I take courses like every like 2 to 4 months. And like I take the course that sort of like seems to be buzzing at the time. So the last course I took is one of the best ones I've actually taken. I don't know if you know who he is, but Jeremy Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like his course
Jeremy
is
on Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, just Jeremy at Jeremy on Instagram. Like his course is just like he gives you literally everything. And like I've never done a course and then think shit like I need to re-strategize like restructure my business.
Yeah.
This was like that. So like I'm not gonna name names, but I've done other courses like with people that we know, like that type of stuff. And like I've thought like like sort of know that already, like it's cool. But this guy's was like like I need to do that. So I'll probably just What was the question? Sorry, I think I went up a little bit.
Do you use cold email? No, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. So that's what I'm saying. So so like, I've had to re-strategize, and he has something on his. That's what I was going on towards on his thing, where it's like the 30-day challenge. So the 30-day challenge is like 100 communications a day sales pitch thing.
Yeah.
So I normally do just cold video pitching through IGDM, and I do about 20 to 40 a day. Like I have someone outsource who does that for me. But like I never really touched the 100 communications, and like I've built up a nice pipeline of people who like come through the IGDM type of stuff. So then I've been asking people around like should I do cold email, and I've done it before, but it wasn't that effective. But I've actually found some. Have you ever heard of? I think it's called D7 Lead Finder. Yeah, so I paid for that recently, and like I'm gonna try and do like bulk email to see if it works or not. But yeah, I'm gonna try it for like a month or two and see how that goes.
Okay. One thing I'd say for obviously like people watching and listening as well is cold email. If you're gonna do it like that, especially Seb just told you a very, very good way that he does it through using Instagram video, right? The reason that's gonna work so well is it's so personable. So he comes on and it's literally like the person receiving that doesn't know that he's then banged it out to 40 other people, right? So they're gonna think, who the hell is this guy?
A few people might think it.
Yeah, some people might. But if you take it, but this is the point as well, is like the reason I love to ask the question of like, do you use cold emails? Because you get so many people that are like, okay, I'm just gonna send the same email to 200, 300 people a day and I'm gonna get loads of clients from it. It's like, okay, but I'd rather you take the time and send 10 emails and actually make them personalized, do a bit of research on the business itself and use it that way. So a good way to do it if you're doing it that way is to use something like Loom. So the Loom, it just
Yeah.
records your screen and just send them to do exactly what Seb's doing in Instagram DMs, but do it through cold email. Send them a Loom video as well.
Cool. So what? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go on.
What I want to see first is my open rate. So the reason why I'm going to do a very generic email to see how many people actually because I like to test when it comes to everything. So I want to test how many people actually open and if it's worth it. And if it is I do see a lot of people clicking a high click through rate, then what I'm actually going to do is actually start sending them looms and stuff to see, because I'm not going to start making looms just no, and then no one's opening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that is, for me, that's always the thing as well, is even Loom videos, you don't want to sit there and do 100 Loom videos. I want to make sure that the 10 Loom videos I'm sending a day are people that I'm dying to work with, and they can tell in that Loom video that I actually give a shit about their business and I'm not there just to take money off them. So with all that being said, with the outreach and stuff like that, is there any tips that sort of come to mind when someone is just getting started on social media, whether it's to bring on clients as their self, or if they're looking to become an influencer, if you like, personal brand, that sort of thing? Anything that sort of sticks out in your head?
Engagement. Not engagement. Engage, as in spend your time doing what Instagram is meant to be for, which is socialize. Especially with the algorithm today with Instagram, it's so hard for people to grow on it and come in, unless you're a girl and you know how they you know why it works. But if you're doing anything in particular, which is like a business, or you're trying to show a particular skill that you're trying to sell type of stuff, then just engage as much as you can. And there's I saw this pretty cool post, which is the 1 hour engagement challenge, I think it is.
Okay.
Which is when you post, obviously now Facebook, essentially what Instagram focuses on the most is saved and shared. Saved and shared. So in order for you to get the most eyes on your content, you have to do I think it's 15 minutes of engaging before you post, then you post, then you engage for 15 minutes, then you reply to comments and that type of stuff for 15 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes you just go you just watch all your stories once again and just message as many people as possible.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I've done it for one of my clients who's actually a personality brand, and he said that he saw a lot of, so it's compounding effect. So the first few days, weeks, you're not really going to see it, but if you do it consistently, you'll see a lot of traction come in, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that just reminded me of something as well. Is somewhat something you could do with that, and I think I told this to someone and they was oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Is when people post stuff and they put hashtags on their posts, when you post your picture, video, whatever it is, when you then put all of the hashtags in, then go into the hashtags and start engaging with the hashtags that you've used, because if you're using those hashtags, then the people that are using the hashtags as well probably are interested in what you're producing if you're using the same and similar hashtags. So that would be another one. You spoke a little bit about your team and outsourcing. Just walk me through a little bit about what that sort of looks like for you now.
In terms of outsourcing, I only outsource jobs that will generate me more income, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's one tip that I got from Jeremy, actually, because I used to outsource with small things that didn't necessarily I had no ROI on it, basically. So the stuff that I do now, for example, is I used to outsource a lot of copywriting. So I took a course of copywriting myself. That doesn't necessarily generate ROI in a sense, direct ROI. Now what I do is I generate I outsource with specific tasks, tedious tasks, so lead generation, which I've always hated. So that's why I outsource that. But yeah, there's certain things media buyers and stuff. So if you don't know what that is, it's just people who run paid ads for clients for you. But anyone obviously listening. And there's certain ways that you can go about finding them. So I've got just VAs. I've got one VA in Asia, and then I've got a few other people that work here. So for example, my camera guy, he's based in the UK because obviously we need to create content and stuff. And then I've got someone who does like my lead generation and pitching for me, that type of thing. But then I like to be quite hands-on with most things. Yeah, I've got like particular people for particular stuff that needs to get done, but I don't have like an actual like set team yet. Like I've got a team of like probably like 5 of us basically, but they're all like just sort of like freelancers.
Wicked,
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the key things as well, is when people think of like agency and they think of like, oh, you need to build a team, like you need to do it. You don't like, for me, it's like the same what Seb says, like you're doing a lot of testing, and you need to be testing the freelancers you're working with as well. Like don't just get someone, find a graphic designer, think, oh, okay, yeah, he's pretty cheap, and then like just use him for the rest of the time. You can have people, because they are freelancers, you know, you're not employing them into your business because they're freelancers. You can just have that arsenal sort of behind you. So you know that if you was to sign up this client, that you know that the freelancer you've got a connection with can come in and fulfill that work for you, and you just be the manager of it. So yeah, quality episode. I think it's good for everyone to get to know you and drop in some value, but the podcast is Designer Future. So we want to know, where is Seb going to be in a year from now?
A year? Hopefully not in London because I want to fly out. Not joking. I'd say like business wise, yeah, like I want to carry on growing my agency. Like when I think about my future, I think about like 5-10 years down the line. So like thinking about that, like reverse psychology type of thing. I want to get to a point where like I sell my business for, especially this one. I don't know if I want to sell it, like before, at the beginning when I started, I was like, yeah, like I definitely want to sell my agency and stuff. But I feel like the more time goes on, the more involved I get in it, and the more like I grow like a love for it, which is pretty like, you say you shouldn't really grow like too fond of like your business and stuff. But yeah, so like I'd say probably a year from now, I'd probably say I'd want to double or triple whatever like the profit that we're making now, and just have a bigger team. And if you would have asked me this question probably like at the beginning of the year, I would have said had the office, but that's not what I want anymore. Because my goal was to have like an office and like a team and everything, but the way everything's going, like that's not what I'm going for anymore. So yeah, just carry on growing my agency and having that time there at the same time with my kid. Yeah.
Wicked.
Before he goes to school.
Sure. Wicked. Well, thank you so much for coming on. So where can everyone find you on all your socials?
So you can find me on Instagram at Sebsanchezr. I'm sure you'll put it on like all the descriptions and stuff, so you can like follow me and I'll follow back. I interact with everyone that follows me, just FYI. And then like find me on YouTube as well. I've got my own podcast which I stopped because it was in person. And so you can watch it or not. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's probably the best place to find me.
Wicked. Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching and listening, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Hollywood 6.